And I'm Rodney Cummins, and welcome to today's event.
That's right. We're at Leonard's Palazzo for TSINY's greatest show on earth, their 2023 Gala.
And you can see all the colors, the lights, the cameras, the lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my!
Let's grab some popcorn. Let's go. It's about to start.
Let's get.
Where's the popcorn, Rodney?
We gotta find it.
Good evening. I'm Ave McCracken, Associate Director for Fundraising and Public Relations, and I am so happy that you are all here. Again, some of you, and some of you are new, and we welcome you, and we're so grateful that you're here. And we hope you enjoy this greatest show. But what I want to say is that Transitional Services New York is the greatest agency in New York City. So. We are blessed to have the honor to honor three wonderful people who do incredible work in the field of mental health for students from 2 years old to 100 years old. And we are so happy you're going to meet them soon. And we're just going to start the show. So I want to introduce you to our president of the board of directors, Abby Goldstein.
Hello, thank you all for coming. It used to be Larry would say a word or two first, and then the microphone would be like up here. I would have to draw it down. I have to talk fast because Avi has given the initial speakers a very tight schedule. I think I was given 2 minutes. Okay, I can deal with that even though I had intended on, 25 or 30 minutes. But then I was a bit insulted. I think you'll tell me if you think it's warranted. Avi said she was counting the time that it took for me to walk up to the microphone. Okay, I have very little time left at this point. I do want to thank all of our honorees. I will say quickly, I know that we have an honoree from St. John's University where I went to the undergraduate school and the law school. My wife, who's over there, went to the law school. My daughter graduated. She got a master's in education, and then she went back and got a master's in special ed, and she's a teacher now in not far in Queens. She made me say it, otherwise I wouldn't have said anything. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We do depend on you, our elected officials. Is Ann Sullivan here? Okay, Ann, it may seem like I'm singling you out because you regulate us and you're responsible for getting us a lot of financing. That's not the case at all. I just happen to like you a lot. So, anyway, I thank you all for coming tonight. It's very important to us, both the contribution you make and also the support, the moral support, the credibility you give us. And I want to thank also our elected officials who have been very generous with their time and donations, and we couldn't do it without them either. So I'm supposed to introduce Larry. Could you stand up, Larry? Ann, I have a question. Will this affect our funding? I don't blame you. Thank you, Larry. He's the best.
And the microphone goes up. The truth of the matter is I carry around the whip, but the whip really should belong to Ave tonight because she really whips me into shape, and I'll talk about that in a second. But ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth, Transitional Services for New York's Inc.'s annual gala. As ringmaster, I get the honor of pointing out the performers and specialty acts for tonight. In ring number one, if everybody can wave when I just call out your name, that would be great. So in ring number one, we have our board of directors who are extremely supportive. Abby Goldstein, our president, who you just met. Dr. Gaska, our vice president. Paul Wilson, our treasurer. Joel Meltzer, board member, and Anita Mancini is here as well. Anita, wave your hand. In ring now you have to imagine where the rings are. So that in ring number two, we have TSI Cares members. Those are part of our organization that helps us do the fundraising. Ed Prost and Tommy Demises from Vanguard Insurance Company. Dina Falkus from the Dime Community Bank, Peter Janowski from Ryan and Janowski Financial Strategies Group. I'm going quickly because they told me I have to. Susan Presley from Merrill Lynch, Joe Cuenca, who traveled all the way from California to be here tonight, and from the DeVito Insurance Company. He's also the chairperson of the TSI Cares. Joseph Shiami I saw Joe walking around from St. John's University. There it is, wave, there you go. Good to see you, Joe. Sasha Soon from Bloiler Psychotherapy. Lori Sturita is here from TD Bank, who I haven't seen in a while. I'm glad she's here. Lori, wave. Lori? She's here. I know she's here. Okay. And Matt Thompson from Morgan Stanley. Hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. In ring number three are the past honorees. It's always exciting when past honorees show up. Mary Beth McManus from Zucker Hillside. One of my favorite people, Dr. Jasmine Moshepour from Elmhurst Hospital. Jody Romano from Elmhurst. Dr. Ann Sullivan, the New York State Office of Mental Health. And tonight's honorees, Dr. Howard Linder from Zucker Hillside. Dr. Heather Robinson from St. John's University. And Dr. Helen Artiaga Landaverde from Elmhurst Hospital. I had to practice that one a lot. And the best balancing act performer I have ever seen and who puts all of this together, a specialty act all on her own, Ave McCracken, along with my supporting sidekick, Terry Lopiano. I want all of the staff there's a lot of staff here tonight, and I really appreciate their support, and I appreciate the vendors who paid for the staff to come tonight, so I'm really excited about that. These are the people that deserve the round of applause, not me, to be honest with you. I am the ringleader. I never have to use the whip, to be honest. I sometimes feel like I am getting whipped, but they are amazing people. So all the staff, please stand up. There's a lot of you. Come on, stand up. These are the people that work with the clients day in and day out. Of course, all the politicians who you're going to meet have been extremely supportive of us over the course of the many, many years. And QPTV, as always, for getting our word out. I really appreciate it. Love Roz and her team. It's really amazing. But most important is tonight the people that came to support us, and that's you. You are guests and supporters. You'll read in the journal, I actually had a problem with the reference to a circus. And I have to admit that the title of a gala, when it was first presented to me, that it's a circus, I didn't want to present it that way. We're not a circus. It's not a show. A show to me, in my brain, stands still in a moment in time. We have been continuously growing and serving a very vulnerable population for 48 years. Contrary to when I was a kid, I don't know if a lot of you remember, a lot of you are way younger, but there were freak shows at Madison Square Garden. I didn't want to be associated with that. We're not. We serve real people in real time that deserve to be honored, that get amazing services. It's so politically incorrect right now. But I want to get away from the word circus because it's not. It is one of the greatest shows on earth. And we've had 48 years of a run of a great show. And for that, I truly appreciate this long-running show of TSINY. I've only been here, this is my 31st year, November. So it was started a little bit before me. A progression of years that got us to this point. And a point, as Avi said, we're one of the greatest agencies in the state of New York. We are one of the most premier mental health agencies, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. So thank you for that, for all of your support. I'm honored to be the ringleader, and I'm going to continue to do it for as long as the circus allows me to. So enjoy the show. I'm going to ask Dr. Ann Sullivan, the Commissioner for the State Office of Mental Health, to come up, who Governor Hochul called us and said you'd be representing her as well. So on behalf of Governor Hochul and the State Office of Mental Health, I bring up Dr. Ann Sullivan. And Abby only knows who you are because I talk about you.
Well, thank you so much, Larry. And really, I am really here on behalf of Governor Hochul. And I think probably everybody knows, I hope everybody knows, that Governor Hochul has invested $1 billion in mental health this year. That is huge. A huge portion of that is for housing. Why? Because without a safe place to put your head at night, and without the supports where you live, recovery is not possible. And TSI, which the Governor Hochul thanks from the bottom of her heart, has been doing this, as you said, for over 40 years. And it began when there was almost no housing. When I started in this business, and I won't say how far back before 40 years, there wasn't supported housing. It wasn't around. We didn't have it. And it's organizations like TSI that have made it real for people and have helped individuals really lead full, productive lives. That's a gift that's just tremendous. And it's a gift that's given every day by every member of TSI. So thank you for giving that gift to our clients across the city, because I think you're getting bigger than just Queens, even though I first knew TSI in Queens. Thank you for what you do every day. They really do fulfill people's hopes and dreams. I don't think there's a better gift anybody can give than that. So thank you, Larry, and thank you for what everybody at TSI does.
So we get the privilege and honor. Do you want to get the privilege and honor of bringing up Bob Myers, who is getting our Lifetime Achievement Award. Bob has been in the State Office of Mental Health. You can read all about him. He's got an illustrious career. I often wonder what the housing would be like, Bob, if you hadn't been here. I really mean that. Can you hear me? Okay. I wonder what it would be like if you weren't around, guiding us, coming up with brilliant ideas all the time. When somebody has a major impact on not just the agencies, but thousands and thousands of people, it's overwhelming. That's all I can say. So you totally deserve this Lifetime Achievement Award. I want to thank you on behalf of everybody in the state of New York for what you've done. And I wish you the best in your retirement years. And I'm sure that somebody's going to be calling you to do something. I have a feeling. But lots of good luck. And we're going to give you the award. I don't know if you want to say.
Just say a few words. You know, sometimes someone does something so very, very special for so long, for so many. And that's Bob Myers. He has always thought of the individual first, always put and keeps all of us at the Office of Mental Health online to make sure that we do the right thing for the people that we work with. Bob has truly built a housing empire across New York State. We now have 48,000 units of housing across New York State. When Bob came, I think it was 2,500. So 48,000. So Bob has impacted, as Larry said, so many lives. And that's a legacy that's just terrific. So I have to thank you, Bob. It's been my extreme pleasure to work with you over those years. And he's just someone who's very, very special. So no, I don't think anybody could deserve a Lifetime Achievement Award. So thank you, Bob.
So thank you very much, Larry and Dr. Sullivan, and thank you everybody here. I just feel so fortunate to be recognized in this way, and from an individual provider agency that I have such respect for, really is meaningful to me. I've been working on developing community supports, including housing, employment, and rehabilitation services for 50 years, 39 in New York, and before that 11 in New Jersey. And from the beginning, my focus has not just been on treatment, but also on really providing rehabilitative services to people to develop skills so that they can have fulfilling lives. And this is exactly what TSI is about. Larry, I looked on your website and your tagline, we help people rediscover themselves. That's exactly what I've always tried to do. And rediscover themselves is the key line there. So over the years, I've always tried to watch and help good organizations to grow, and I've seen you grow from $10 million to $60 million, and you figured out how to actually develop housing in Queens that's not on the grounds of Creedmoor, so, which is a remarkable achievement. So, and you really have a person-centered approach to care. So, again, to receive this award from an organization like yours that has that value is just makes me feel very good. So thank you all very much.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Nancy Hernandez, the New York State Deputy Controller for Diversity Management, to come up for a second. She represents Controller DiNapoli and is a good friend to TSINY. Good to see you.
Love being here. Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm here representing Tom DiNapoli, our New York State Controller. I do personally want to say that I've enjoyed very much through the years coming to these events, mostly because of the themes. Do you know we were in France and Paris last spring? It was wonderful. I'm looking forward to the next one. But most importantly, it's just showing the support, advocacy, to be there for people with mental health and the homelessness. I think it's so important, especially the way the economy is today. And just programs overall try to help the communities. But I have to say, in the 11 years I've been with the controller, traveling through the state, I've never seen one just like TSI. And my heart, I'm always happy to be here representing him, so that's why I'm always volunteering. But I do want to say it's important for us to continue to support, be there. And if you have an opportunity to visit these residences, they're beautiful and so well made. And I just see more to come for TSI. So thank you very much for this opportunity for representing Tom DiNapoli.
Okay, Assemblyman David Weprin. We are going to do, just so everybody's aware, we're going to do the citations at the end just to save a little bit of time because it's a tight schedule. So, but David, come on up. Assemblyman David Weprin.
Thank you, Larry, and I want to congratulate all the honorees who are so dedicated to public service and to especially dealing with people with mental illness and other disabilities. At one point, I've been actually in elective office for 21 years now, 8 years in the city council, 14 years in the assembly. And I've always been an advocate, no matter what committee I have, for people with disabilities and people with mental illness. It's really so important. And Dr. Ann Sullivan is very modest, but she is a real champion, for everybody, but certainly people with disabilities and people with mental illness. And we've worked together on so many different issues. I've been affiliated with TSI since before I was an elected official. I was on their advisory board before I became an elected official. And then I became a member of the honorary advisory board. I was on the board, actually, and then when I got elected, I had to go on to the advisory board. But I've always been committed to the work that TSI does. And Larry and Ave really are so committed to the organization and to helping people that really need help. So once again, I come to your dinner almost every year, but certainly this is really a pleasure for me to be here once again. And I have my citations that we'll give out later, but thank you for doing everything you do, Larry and Ave at TSI, and may you continue to go from strength to strength.
Councilwoman Vicky Palladino. Vicky, come on up and say a few words. Vicky has also been extremely helpful. I don't even know the word. Like, we got a lot of funding this year thanks to Vicky, so she deserves an extra round of applause.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Transitional Services of New York came into my office as soon as I took office in January of 22. They were one of the first non-for-profits that I saw. And I have to say this, anybody who's battled with an addiction or mental health certainly knows somebody who has. And all they had to do was sit in front of me, Larry and Ave, and as soon as I heard how long they have been doing this, I immediately knew, that this works. You know, going back as far as we go back, without mentioning our ages here, there was once upon a time where we actually took care of our drug addicts and our mentally ill. They weren't left to roam the streets. We actually had a safe place for them to go to. Whether they spent 30 days, which was necessary, with round-the-clock care, or maybe perhaps they needed 60 days or longer. I think everybody in this room, I know I do, has somebody very close to them that had to battle a battle such as this, and it's a lifelong battle. So to know that you have an organization that started some 48 years ago, that tells you right there, it works. We need to get our mentally ill off the street. We need to help our drug addiction. We need to transition. Here's your key word, transition back into society and make them feel like they're worth something. Transitional Services does that. It's my absolute pleasure, and I look forward to many years going forward in giving even more money to Larry and Ave, visiting Creedmoor, which they've set up a terrific place there. I visited there, in Jamaica, and I want you to know right now, Creedmoor, as far as I go, should be transitioned back into what it once was, which was a mental care facility. So I thank the governor for her $1 billion, but I'm looking forward to seeing a line item as to where all the billions of dollars are going to go. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your evening. It was a pleasure to be here.
Councilwoman Linda Lee.
Oh, good. Okay, great. All right. Good evening, everyone. Oh, come on. Good evening, everyone. Woo. All right. So my name is Linda Lee. I'm the councilwoman of District 23 in Eastern Queens. So Vicki and I share our north-south borders from each other. And I have the distinct honor of having TSINY, their Creedmoor site in my district. So I'm very lucky. And before I took office last year, I'm actually a social worker. I was, woo! Yes! We need more social workers in government, that's all I gotta say. I'm a social worker and I was in the nonprofit sector for about 20 years before I took office. And I have to say, when you deliver services on the ground, and one of the things I did is I worked at a Korean Asian nonprofit organization. And what I realized is there are not enough people in the profession that can be culturally, linguistically sensitive and provide all these services, especially in a city like New York where we speak over 150 languages. And I have to say, I'm glad the commissioner is here. I hope she's still here. Ah, there you are. It took me 4 years, but our nonprofit opened up an outpatient Article 31 state licensed clinic, which is one of the hardest things I ever had to do, I'm not gonna lie. But our board of the nonprofit and myself did it because we felt such a mission, because there were more deaths we were seeing due to suicide and overdoses and all of the severe mental illnesses that we were seeing in the community. And so that's why I really, really support the work that TSINY does, because for my communities, there's still such a huge stigma. No one talks about it. I have very close family and friends with severe mental illnesses, and no one in my family talks about it to this day. So we have to keep working to break the stigma. We have to, guess what? New York City, we just passed a budget of $107 billion, which is more than some countries in the world. And I have to say, I'm proud of the fact that Councilmember Palladino and I are part of the first ever majority women-led city council. That has never happened before. Sorry, guys. But 31 out of the 51 council members are women, and we have the most diverse council ever. So myself and Julie Wan are the first Korean Americans for the very first time. We have 6A API, and we have people like myself that are caregivers, people with lived experience in mental health that understand what the issues are in all of our communities. So that's why we are fighting so hard to provide more services and funding. And through the work that our office did along with the speaker, Adrienne Adams, the City Council actually created a mental health roadmap, which it's never done. And I really encourage you guys to look at the roadmap because it includes legislation and funding ideas for what we want to try to do in the city to improve this mental health crisis that we're in right now. And it includes 4 pillars. Workforce, I know, is a huge one, so we got to do whatever we can to build that pipeline. So I just want to let you know the best legislation, in my opinion, comes from the community. If you guys have ideas, thoughts on what we can do to make improvements, please let us know, because that is something that we want to really try to incorporate in the work that we do. And as council members, we are servants, in my opinion, and it's an extension of what I did in the nonprofit sector, where we're here to listen and serve the community. So please use us as a resource, and I'm very, very fortunate to be here and support the work you're doing. And we have certificates somewhere over there for all the honorees who, Helen, I don't know where she is, and of course, I don't know if she's here from HHC. Oh, there you are. That does incredible work, and of course we got Zucker Hill here. So all these communities and facilities and institutions are doing such amazing work. So we will continue to lend our voice and be that support for the community. So thank you so much.
Congratulations. Dr. Linder from Zucker Hillside, come on up, get your citations. You'll be seeing all the honorees again, don't worry, they're coming up again. Congratulations. And Heather, Dr. Heather Robertson, come on up. I get the pleasure of introducing Assemblyman Ed Braunstein, who from the first moment he's met TSI and me and Ave has been extremely supportive of all of our efforts and has agreed graciously to be the MC again this year. So let's give Ed Braunstein a real big round of applause.
Thank you, Larry. Good evening, everyone. And once again, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Let's give a round of applause to Ave for coming up with this theme. Every event, Ave goes above and beyond. I don't know where she comes up with some of this stuff, but it definitely makes these events a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. And it gets Larry to dress up every single time, and Larry never disappoints. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be here with my colleagues in government that you heard from earlier. I do want to shout out Dr. Ann Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan, I have been on the panel when you do the budget testimony, and you sit there for hours, but you're always gracious, you're always impressive. And I always leave feeling a little bit better about the future of our state after hearing you testify. So it's great to see you here, and it's great to see you here with TSI. We know there's $1 billion out there, so the fact that you're here is very promising. So my name is Ed Braunstein. I'm the state assembly member from the Bayside area, and I first met Larry right after I was elected in 2010. Keep it down just a little bit. We're moving through the program. Thank you. So Larry's got his whip. Quiet down. I'm going to send Larry over there if you're not quiet. So I met Larry right after I was elected in 2010. We found out that Larry lived around the corner from my parents in Bayside. And I think we might have, started a conversation while he was out walking his dog in the park across the street from my parents' house. And he invited me to come visit some of the TSI facilities in Queens. And it was not your normal kind of meeting. Larry volunteered to pick me up, which is normally not how these things work. And he picked me up, and I got in his car, and we drove to a site in Jamaica, and then I believe we visited Creedmoor. And I was just thoroughly impressed with Larry's passion and commitment to his work, and the relationship that he had with his clients. We would walk into a building and everybody would come up, say hello to Larry, talk about their life, their family. And I was immediately just impressed with TSI, and I've watched you grow. I mean, you're up to 4,000 clients now. I think someone mentioned you went from 15 million to 60, but you're at $100 million in assets now. Really, Larry, we're so grateful for all the incredible work that you do. And tonight we have some tremendous honorees that we would like to recognize. And the last point I want to make is everybody talks about the TSI facility in their district. I know Linda was talking about the residents of Creedmoor. I have the privilege of having the TSI's TSN Turn the Page Again bookstore on Bell Boulevard, if anybody's familiar with it. I saw Nina earlier. I always see Nina. My office is down the block. And it's great for helping people rediscover themselves and helping people re-enter the job market. But it's also good for the community. With Amazon and online retail, we don't have brick and mortar bookstores anymore. And we have that right in our community on Bell Boulevard. So I encourage you, if you're looking for a book, you don't have to go to Barnes & Noble. You could come to Turn the Page Again on Bell Boulevard and browse through their selection, and I encourage everybody to go. So with that, the way it's going to work is we're going to have I'm going to introduce the honorees. They're going to be a video, a presentation, a speech by the honorees, and then they will come up for an award. We do have some tremendous honorees tonight. The first honoree is Dr. Helen Ortega-Landaverde, Chief Executive Officer, New York Health and Hospitals, Elmhurst. And we're going to hear a little bit from Dr. Ortega-Landaverde right now.
because I really strongly believe in the work that TSI does. So many times throughout my career as a healthcare provider, I've seen the great work that comes from true partnership. That's why working with TSI was something I knew was a given. I get to see the profound work that TSI does at Elmer's, where many of our patients enjoy and improve life because of all the amazing work and dedication they do. As the CEO of New York City Health and Hospital Elmer's, one of the largest mental health providers here in our beloved borough of Queens, I'm so grateful to have this wonderful partner like TSI in my hospital. We often treat the same patients, those struggling with crushing mental health illness and addiction issues, while at the same time dealing with the difficult and socioeconomic structure that they're living through. These factors have only been made worse by COVID-19, which, fingers crossed, will continue to recede into the past. An ongoing housing crisis and social safety net has often become an issue for many. Here at Elmer's, we often find that our patients' health outcomes are closely linked to their mental health. And as a result, our staff here at Elmer's need to work with partners like TSI, who quite frequently have the solutions and the tools to help us. We realized a long time ago that despite the great job that we do caring for our patients within our walls, we also need community support for our patients dealing with mental health, addiction, and homelessness. When we discharge them from our hospital, this is where TSI comes into play. Them being a partner with us truly aligns ourselves with our mission and our idea of holistic wellness. Much like our beloved hospital, TSI believes in addressing many of the factors impacting throughout their wellness journey. I greatly admire how, in addition to mental health treatment, TSI provides supportive housing, access to job opportunities, career readiness, peer support, and more importantly, mentoring. TSI is not only a service provider, but also an interested cheerleaders for our patients and guides them in every step of the way on the road of recovery. When I look forward to the continuing partnership that we have with TSI, I look forward to both of us growing and being there for our patients. But I really want to thank our clinical leadership, including our amazing behavioral health director, Dr. Vladimir Gaskar, our incredible Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Jasmine Machkor, and our dynamic and energetic Social Work Director, Jordan Lynn Romano, for nurturing this relationship and making sure that we continue to connect our patients to services that will improve their lives and aid them as they face life's daily challenges. I'm so honored to work with them every day, and I'm always deeply appreciative of their dedication to our patients and to our beloved community. I also want to thank the staff at Elmer's Hospital and the amazing team of over 6,000 employees for their very hard work and long days. Their efforts make sure that Elmer's gets ranked as one of the best hospitals in the nation in several categories. I want to close by wishing and congratulating my fellow honorees for their vital contribution to our great borough of Queens and for their support in building a better and healthier community through their work. Last, but certainly not least, I want to thank my family, my husband, and my 3 children for supporting me and allowing me to do the work that I love to do at Elmer's Hospital. Once again, congratulations to TSI for all you do to assist our people in need as they transition from the feeling of hopelessness, despair to a brighter future. Thank you and have a great night.
So real quick before we get to our next honoree, I also, in my remarks earlier, I just want to make a point to thank everybody here tonight for donating. Your donations go a long way to TSI. You know, they have contracts with the city and state that cover specific items, but when they need flexibility for certain things that they need for their clients, or if they want to do special programming, sometimes that money's not available. So your contributions tonight go a long way to helping TSI complete its mission, and I just wanted to make a point to thank you for all of that. The next honoree, this guy comes with his own fan club over there. He is the medical director at Zucker Hillside Hospital, Northwell. He's assistant professor, Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra. The 2023 Physician of the Year Award goes to Dr. Howard Linder.
It is a great honor to be recognized by Transitional Services for New York, an organization that shares Northwell's commitment to treating people with mental illness. I am very humbled and grateful for receiving such an award, and I would like to thank the nominating committee at TSI and everyone who has always been a part of my journey, from my family, my friends, and the administrative team at Zucker Hillside Hospital. I would not be standing here today without all your support. With the help of other leaders at Zucker Hillside Hospital, I have led several key initiatives, which include the rolling out of evidence-based treatment modalities on our inpatient units, such as DBT and CBTR, formation of a psychiatry digital clinic, creation of both child and adult crisis centers, establishment of a center for treatment-resistant depression, a recent opening of an IV ketamine clinic, as well as expansion of our ECT and TMS programs. In addition, over the last couple of years, I was one of the behavioral health clinical leads navigating Northwell throughout the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Talk about walking the tightrope. This year's Gala's theme is the greatest show on earth. Most of us are familiar with the phrase when P.T. Barnum and James Bailey purchased the Ringling Brothers Circus and merged the two in 1919. The term was used at the time to describe the coming together of two companies with a shared vision to form one company. The partnership between Northwell and TSI could also be thought in a similar fashion. By that, I mean that we need each other to do our work well. We share not just a vision, but an intertwined mission for our patients and their families. Our mission at Northwell is to improve the health and quality of life for the people and communities we serve by providing world-class service and patient-centered care. At Northwell, we have a slogan, made for this. What we do is not a job, it's a life's work. The belief has driven us to find innovative ways to provide behavioral health inpatient and outpatient services for clients from childhood to the geriatric years. We have also developed and expanded our specialized services for women's mental health, college students, and patients suffering from new onset psychosis. People come to us at their worst, when they are frightened, anxious, enraged, out of control. Yet we look past those circumstances and focus on their innate worth as human beings. However, we also look at them as inseparable from their circumstances because we understand the conditions in which they live have an immense impact on the ability to get well and stay well. That is where the TSI mission of providing a continuum of rehabilitative services to enrich the lives of those recovering from mental illness and facilitate their transition to increased levels of independence takes over. At Northwell and TSI, we understand that we must first lift our clients out of their worst version of themselves and then provide the residential and outpatient rehabilitation services to increase their personal motivation, grow work skills, and develop social skills that will allow the patient to achieve their self-defined success. In this essence, we have also formed one of the greatest shows on earth for behavioral health patients and their families. At Northwell and TSI, we live our mission and are committed to meeting our patients wherever they are in their journey to make their lives healthier, more productive, and more gratifying. It is difficult work and it can be frustrating, but I know I speak for my team when I say that it is the most deeply satisfying effort imaginable. I am very appreciative of the recognition from TSI, but I am even more grateful for your partnership in our shared endeavor to help our patients, our clients, our neighbors, and friends find ease, fulfillment, and meaning in their lives. Thank you very much.
Dr. Linder, one second. Before we bring up Dr. Linder, we're a little out of order, but we're going also to play a video from the CEO of Northwell, Michael Dowling.
Good evening, everybody, and I'm Mike Dowling. I'm the President and CEO of Northwell Health, and I'm sorry to not be with you tonight. I was hoping I could, but I'm not in the area. But I do want to say to all of you, congratulations, and thank you all for being here and to provide support to a wonderful, wonderful organization. TSI does extraordinary work. extraordinary work in providing help to those most vulnerable, and has been doing it for decades and decades. I was familiar with TSI when I was in government way back years and years ago. As you know, we've had a long-term relationship with TSI. Zucker Hillside Hospital has had a partnership with them for almost 40 years. We do extraordinary work together, and obviously today, given the accelerated growth in mental health and substance abuse issues, working together is so important, because only by working together can we succeed. Can we do what we all want to do? Only by partnering can we excel. So our partnership with TSI has been exceptional, and I want to thank them and all their staff for everything they do with us, and we look forward to continuing that relationship going forward. I also want to congratulate all the honorees, including Dr. Howard Lender, who is Medical Director at Zucker Hillside, and all the other honorees for your dedication and your commitment to doing work that is difficult, but extraordinarily rewarding and helps the public. I also want to say a special thanks to somebody that I've known for quite a while, Dr. Larry Gruber, the CEO of TSI. Thank you, Larry, for everything you're doing. Delighted to have had a chance to meet with you again very, very recently. But for everything you and your team does, you should feel extraordinarily proud. So to all of you tonight, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy. You're here for a great cause. You're here doing good work. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Howard Linder, come on up. So the next honoree we will be hearing from is Dr. Heather Robertson. She's the chair and associate professor. Good, you gotta compete with that. You gotta compete with that. Good work, good work. She's the chair and associate professor, counselor, education department, St. John's University School of Education. Dr. Heather Robertson is this year's Educator of the Year. We'll hear from Dr. Robertson.
I'm honored to be recognized by Transitional Services of New York as the 2023 Educator of the Year. Recognized by an organization such as TSINY, whose organizational mission aligns so closely with my personal and professional values, is truly humbling. I am grateful to Larry Grubler and Nadia McCracken for this acknowledgement. We are all familiar with the wide variety of exceptional services that TSINY provides, including housing services, clinical services, employment services, crisis services, and more. Having begun my career in 1994 as an employment specialist in a supported employment program, I am filled with hope and optimism for the development of programs such as the affirmative business, Turn the Page, and the respite services offered through Mealy's Respite. These vital programs provide needed services for individuals and their families. However, there is one element of the TSINY mission that speaks directly to my soul and to my spirit. Part of their mission statement reads, to enrich the lives of those recovering from mental illness and to facilitate their transition to increased levels of independence. As an educator, these are the statements that I try to instill in my classrooms, in my research, and my clinical practice. I train graduate students who want to become licensed mental health counselors and credentialed alcohol and substance use counselors. Many times, new students will ask me how the counseling profession is different from other helping professions. I explain to my students that one of the differences is the lens by which counselors view the individuals we serve. Counselors utilize a holistic and strength-based approach in their work. This holistic approach means that, like TSINY services, we seek to treat the whole person, not just their mental health, of the challenges they may have in other areas, such as housing, employment, relationships, the legal system, and beyond. A person's mental health doesn't operate in a vacuum, but functions among a myriad of other factors that impact their overall well-being. TSINY understands that holistic lens and practices from that same view. Similarly, TSINY shares my view of a strengths-based approach to treating persons with mental illness. I share with my students that a strengths-based model means that no matter how difficult or how desperate someone's situation may appear, that person has strengths. And we, as the counselor, need to find those strengths and help the person utilize them in their recovery. A strengths-based approach recognizes individual autonomy. It recognizes individual dignity. It recognizes an individual's value. And a strengths-based mindset is abundantly visible in the work of TSINY and in all their programs and among their staff. Beyond the work that TSINY does within their organization, they create opportunities for St. John's University students to complete internships, do clinical observations, and learn more about the world of rehabilitation services. I am grateful to Transitional Services of New York for the work that they do on behalf of those they serve, their families, and our students. I look forward to a lasting partnership for years to come. I thank you for this honor and for this recognition.
Dr. Heather Robertson, please come on up. One more round of applause for Dr. Robertson. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Larry to finish the rest of the program. Is that correct? And I just want to close by thanking all of you for your contributions to this great organization. And I want to thank all the distinguished honorees for the great work you do for our community. Have a great evening. Thank you very much.
And another round of applause for Ed Bronstein, who really is amazing, so thank you, Ed. Okay, I want to present Danielle White. She's a consumer and employee of TSINY, and you're going to see her video, which I hear is really amazing.
Hi, I'm Danielle. My story begins in my senior year of high school, when my mental illness began. I didn't understand that what was happening to me. My mom is a nurse, and she has been working in the psychiatric field since I was 11 years old. She realized something was wrong and told me to watch a movie called Girl Interrupted. It was about a lady who suffered from depression, and she had to go to the psychiatric institution. I told my mom that's how I felt. Right away, she had me see a therapist, and she shortly got me admitted into LIJ Hospital, where I stayed for about a month and a half. My mother told me that I had to check on my feelings so the doctors could find out the root of the problem. I did, and I got discharged once I felt better. However, I had been admitted 3 times afterwards, but I didn't know that this was something that I'll have to battle for the rest of my life. At the moment, I'm on a very good combination of medication. I go to therapy, and I attend and volunteer at a psychosocial clubhouse called Venture House. Venture House staff is there to assist members with mental challenges, to develop or reestablish a sense of self-esteem and a meaningful role in the community. Because of this, and the support of my family, I managed to live an independent, fulfilling life. I started college in 2017 at the age of 30, and I graduated Queensborough Community College with a GPA of 3.3. I've had around 5 temporary employment positions and other jobs as well. This played an important part in my recovery. I was actively looking for employment after I graduated college. Venture House recommended me to my past bosses, Nina and Ellie. That's when I came across TSI, who offered me a job at a bookstore called Turn a Page Again. During my time there, I practiced new skills, such as answering the phone, using the register, and I provided great customer service. Before landing this job, I didn't work for about a year, so this made me happy. I was back in the workforce. It boosted up my confidence and gave me extra money in my pocket, which was great because I was able to decorate my new apartment, which I obtained through Venture House. We shouldn't settle into stigma of mental illness. I refuse to allow my disability to control me. I'm currently looking for work, which persists in events. That's my main goal. If I don't get it right away, I won't be discouraged. I'll just wait for my time. My mother pushed me for greatness and made sure I was able to live on my own and take care of myself when I was afraid to do so. I hope this will inspire people to always believe in themselves, because now I do.
So I didn't realize, you can stand because I think this is amazing. That speech was amazing and I truly appreciate it. But I knew that Venture House, the executive director, I'm going to ask you to come on up. Juliet, she's here. We can take a picture with her. And we also have the president of Queensborough Community College. Oh shoot, I didn't know that either until just a little while ago. So come on up, because you've all had an impact. And this is what we're talking about, community collaboration with the hospitals, with the community providers, with the schools. So sometimes you don't know you have an impact, but you do. Let's take a picture together. That's so fantastic. Okay, we always give out a TSINY Friendship Award, and it's usually a surprise to me. No, just kidding. It's usually a surprise to the person that's receiving it. This year we've chosen somebody, and we've chosen people from QPTV before, to be honest. We've chosen QPTV as an organization. But there's one of their staff that has worked so closely with us on developing. You can go onto our website and see the associate directors talk about their programs so that we can do community and consumer education. And we wanted to do it more professionally than we typically, we didn't want it on my video camera. So QPTV offered, and Ave and I are, and TSINY is pleased, very pleased and honored to recognize John Collins as our friend. This year you get the Friendship Award. We're at the end of our program. Just stay seated and eat because the elephants and tigers and bears and stuff are coming out from what I understand. So don't feed them from the table. But enjoy. There are raffles to purchase. People will be going around if you hadn't had an opportunity to purchase them yet. Again, enjoy the rest of the night and thank you for coming. so it's great to see.
Not only that, I don't know if they saw this whip. He's actually the ring leader. Is that what you call it?
I'm the ringleader, but I'm very lucky. I don't have to use the whip often.
That sounds good. That sounds like a plan. So it's the greatest show on earth. You have to tell me how you came around with this theme. It is fabulous. It's beautiful out here. It's packed. You got over 1,000 balloons, popcorn, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.
You know, it is. It's very interesting. And I was very nervous. If you read my journal article in the journal, I was nervous about having a circus theme. Because what do people associate circuses with? Chaos and freaks, and it's not politically correct anymore. TSI is a great show, though. And we've had a great run. It's 48 years. We've been in existence. We service over 4,000 people a year. And we've got an amazing staff that really, it's like a show every day.
I agree.
It's a great show.
And they go beyond each time, each presentation, from your spring luncheon to your gala, they step it up each time. And this is absolutely phenomenal.
I have to give credit to Ave McCracken. She is my Associate Director of Development and Fundraising, and she has amazing ideas.
I agree, 100%. So you have to brag. Talk a little bit about all of the properties that you guys have procured and the services that you're providing for the community. Not only mental illness, homeless, and people, seniors in the community. Brag a little bit, Larry.
Yeah, I'm really excited about all we've been able to accomplish. I became the CEO in 2007, and it's 2023. We've grown from $15 million in assets. We just hit over $100 million in assets with the buildings that we built to house people that are homeless, have a psychiatric disability, the elderly. It's been really exciting to see these projects get up and running. It's really exciting to see the clients talk about having a stable place to live for the first time in their lives. I wish every client could be here to talk to you and tell you their story. It's just fantastic. So we are growing. We have 2 more projects in the works. A 50-bed facility in Jamaica and another 90-bed facility in Jamaica.
So give us the names of some of those facilities. I know one's the Delson.
One is the Delson on 163rd Street. We're building right next door to that as well. And then the other one is the Neely's on 89th Avenue. And then the newest one, the biggest one, is going to be on Archer. And what I'm excited about there is that we're going to be doing a community health center as well for the Jamaica community, so that we can do education, both mental health and health education.
Very nice. I tell you, you step it up each time. I have to say congratulations on all the work that you and your team do for the community, because it is absolutely fabulous. It is the greatest show on earth.
Thank you, Roz, and I really appreciate QPTV's support always. You help us get the word out. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do that, so thank you.
I'm with Tommy Demisa from TSI Cares, and also Michael Katakis, the Spirited Huntington Arts Center. They are fabulous people. We're here at the greatest show on earth for TSINY 2023 Gala. Tommy, thank you so much for joining me, and Michael, thank you for being here.
What's up, Roz? What's going on, kid? Woo! Greatest show on the whole planet, man. The whole planet of Earth. Woo! What's up?
Tommy,
what's going on?
You guys do a great job. Tell us a little bit about TSI Cares. What do you do for TSI and why?
All right, so TSI Cares is a committee of business people in the community to really help steer the organization, to learn about the initiatives of the organization, and most importantly, as a nonprofit sector connector, to make connections for the organization, right? So we get to get the inside scoop from Dr. Larry Grubler and from Ave McCracken and team, and then we get to say, all right, well, who do I know in my network? Or, you know, who does Ed Probst know in his network? Or, you know, and it's that kind of thing where it's like, we're all stronger, Roz, together, right, as a community. But if I could for a moment, I think what we need to continue to do is have this conversation about ending the stigma. We all need support. Dr. Grubler was on the 2nd ever episode of Philanthropy in Focus, and he said, you know what, Tommy D, because that's what he calls me, because that's my name.
Everybody calls him Tommy D.
One and only.
Tommy D, the Tommy D.
The one and only. He said to me, you know what, Tommy D, we all need support at different times. And I tell you, I do my show every week, and twice a month I reference that. Because Roz, Michael, we know this, whether it's the mental health community or it's the intellectual developmentally disabled community or that cross-section of both, or none of that at all. It's just as human beings, we need to love, we need to have compassion, we need to hug people, we need to care about people, and ending that stigma and having these conversations. We focused on suicide last week on my show. And if we're not having those conversations, we're going to lose people, Roz, right? I mean, you've been such a big supporter of us, TSI, for so many years.
So where can people find your show, Tommy?
Funny you should ask. Anywhere you get your podcast, it's Philanthropy in Focus, PHOCUS.com, philanthropyinfocus.com, and then really all your podcast platforms, and then just Google Tommy D. You'll probably find me, Ron.
You'll definitely find Tommy D.
He'll come up.
And Michael, how did you collaborate with Tommy D, and how do you get involved with TSINY? How did this love fest come together?
It is a love fest.
It's
an unbelievable love fest, and the best part of it is that we're actually making a difference, right? So at Spirit of Huntington Arts Center, where I'm the executive director, we came to TSINY and we said, how can we help? And we started to bring our creative expression programs right to the home, right to the center, right to the place where they need the help. Because they need to feel their worth. They need to feel that they're doing something in society besides just hanging out. So we've been able to show their net worth by showing them how they can be creative, release their emotions, tell their story, and the artwork is amazing. You got to see the artwork here on display. It's awesome. You have to create a show. And if you see it, you'll be blown away. Not only blown away, but it's been moved into museums now. We're on tour. It's going to Queens College on October 19th. Everyone's got to come and see it. The show is just awesome of this guy's work and what's going on.
That is phenomenal. You have to tell people about the tie, the correlation between art and mental illness, and just being able to express yourself on paper, on a wall, a mural. Talk about it a little bit.
A lot of the guys don't have the words. They don't know how to do it. But man, they can draw it out. They can tell you their feelings through that, through that art and through that storytelling that happens on that in that platform. And it's just awesome to see it. And it's awesome when they come to the show. They were getting out. We were treating them like they were like rock stars. Yeah. We were giving them wine. You were there. They just feel like they're, with the cello playing, the music. It's like a real thing. And they're like, this is all for us. I'm like, dude, this is your night. And not only that, we're selling the art.
Wow.
And it's going back, not to the guys right now, it's going back to the organization, offset cost. But eventually, who knows? They become professional, real artists. You just don't know.
So programmatically, you're on site right now at TSI on a weekly basis?
Yep, we're there every week. Now we're at the Hazel House in Creedmoor. We started out in Queens, and they got us going to all the homes and working with the guy. It's just awesome to see.
And where can people find your information? Shout out that website.
Yeah, that is. But if you go to SpiritHuntingtonArtCenter.com, you will get all of that about us. TSINY, you hit them.org, and you're going to see all about the program called Color My World. It's an amazing program. TSINY, they see the power of this. They're supporting it. They're the ones that are making it roll and rock, and it's just awesome.
Well, this is fabulous. Listen, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here on Queens Public Television. You guys rock. Keep it going. Keeping the business strong. And the business community strong.
Rocking out the QPTV, by the way.
Love it. This is so cool. Thank you, everybody.
We'd like to welcome Dr. Ann Sullivan, the Commissioner of Office of Mental Health, and my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. It's an exciting night.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So how many years have you worked in mental health? And tell us, TSINY has set the bar like this high.
Very high.
So in all those years, what do you think about the organization?
Oh, I've been in mental health for over 40 years.
Yes.
Wow. So I've been around a while. And TSI is just terrific. The most important thing for individuals with serious mental illness is a safe, supportive place to live. And TSI has done this in an exceptional way. You've probably seen some of their residences. They provide housing, but they also provide the wraparound services that help individuals get back into the community and lead full, successful lives. TSI is one of the best organizations in the state.
I agree.
Seems very clear. I mean, the greatest show on earth, right? Like that's the theme.
Yes, it makes sense. That's what it would be.
I mean, the impact that it's had on the community. Tell us a little bit more about, what it means to you to have come so far within the organization.
Well, I think, I knew TSI when I worked at Elmhurst over 10 years ago. And now as the Commissioner of the Office of Mental Health, I see programs all across New York State that serve the seriously mentally ill. And TSI is one of the best. They have a real heart and a real caring for the people they work with. And they've transformed lives. I think their slogan is, we rediscover. They really do. They transform the lives of the individuals they work with so they can go forward and fulfill their hopes and dreams. That's what it's all about. So TSI is just a wonderful organization.
And you're presenting an award tonight. Tell us about Mr. Myers.
Bob Myers has been one of the most visionary members of the mental health team for, again, over 40 years. Wow. Bob started when there was no supported housing. It's hard to remember, but 40 years ago there was almost no supported housing for anyone. Bob built a system throughout the state, and today the state has 48,000 units across New York State. Bob has done wonderful work on recovery, on helping individuals learn skills to get good jobs. He's committed to employment. He's committed to helping individuals fully recover if they have a mental illness. So Bob's terrific. And we're going to miss him at the Office of Mental Health, but he's going to have a great future and just enjoying life and doing all the things he's always wanted to do.
Well, thank you, and go get some popcorn.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy it, definitely.
And thank you so much for being here and supporting mental health and TSI. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm with Assembly Member Ed Braunstein. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
So, not for anything, I've seen you over the years. You support TSINY, and you've been doing it forever. You have to share that story. How you first met Larry and Ave McCracken and got involved with this organization.
So Larry used to live around the corner from my parents' house in Bayside. And I think I might have met him while he was out walking his dog one time. And he was telling me about TSI, and we agreed that he would take me for a trip to visit some of his sites. So he picked me up in his car, which is rare. Usually you meet somebody somewhere, they don't pick you up. But he picked me up, and I think the first site was in Jamaica, and then we drove around Queens, and I was immediately impressed with Larry's passion, how he knew every client knew him, and I saw the work that TSI did, and I was immediately a supporter.
So let me tell you something. When I see the work that you guys also collaborate and do together, it's actually phenomenal. What does this mean for people in your district? And tell us about the area that you cover.
So you're right. I think I read somewhere that 1 in 4 people struggle with mental health issues at some point in their life. And we all have family members or friends who go through challenges. And it's important that we have the supports there to help them, what does they say? Help people rediscover themselves. That's TSI's motto. And TSI does such a great job at that, that I'm happy to provide any support I can to help them fulfill their mission.
Joining us is Heather Robinson, Chair and Associate Professor, Counselor Education Department for St. John's University. Congratulations on your prestigious honor today.
Yes.
My God.
Thank you so much. I love TSI and mine. I love the work that they do, so I'm honored to be honored by them.
Well, tell us, how did you get into the mental health field yourself? You're teaching, you're educated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been in counseling for years. I started out career counseling, like I said, in supported employment, which is what TSINY does. So I started out in 1994 in supported employment, moved into career counseling, and I picked up mental health counseling and addictions counseling. So now that I train counselors, partners with TSINY are great for our students. They're great for, we do our classes there to look at their residences. They're such a great partner for us, and I'm so grateful to be here with them in this relationship.
With the challenges of mental health over the years just being so much more prevalent, how do you see an industry, or rather organization like TSNY coming in and making such a big impact?
Yeah, I know what, I mean, it's interesting because my background is in mental health and addictions counseling, and I don't work specifically in housing, but the housing component is critical. So the fact that TSINY recognizes how critical housing is, in addition to other mental health services, people can't, work on their employment, work on their recovery. They don't have a safe place to lay their head, and they don't have a safe place to feel a sense of home. So for me, I feel like we need these partnerships. It was amazing for me tonight to listen to how much the agency has grown, how many residences they have currently, how many beds they have for people who need them.
It's amazing.
So we cannot. The hope of the field, the hope of getting people in recovery and living independent lives comes from organizations like TSINY.
And they clearly have been doing such a great job, as we saw one of the young ladies who was up there earlier. You could see how much of how impactful it was for her. Just the entire journey, and it was amazing to see.
And it was great to end with that tonight because that's what it's all about. That's really what it's all about, is helping the individuals who are in need of services, mental health services, addiction services, housing, employment, and to recognize that it's holistic. It's not just one part. You can't just take that mental illness and we've checked the box. You got to teach the whole person.
Do you like the way they have fun with everything too? The greatest show on earth.
This is so
2023
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's so much fun. I love the popcorn balloons and all the trinkets on the tables. It's got the man walking around in stilts. It's been a fun night.
Yeah,
It's been a really fun night.
Did you get your popcorn? Did you get your popcorn?
I gotta get my popcorn. I have to get mine still.
Well, thank you for joining
Yes,
us.
thank
so
you.
much for having me. I
Likewise.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I just want to say congratulations, well-deserved award.
Yes.
You've been working with TSINY for a very long time, and it was very hard to keep it from you that you, working behind the curtain, was going to get an award in front of the curtain.
Totally surprised. Totally surprised. And it's something I just love doing. I want to help these people.
Definitely. Well, I have a little surprise for you. Can you hold this for a second?
More popcorn?
No more popcorn. No popcorn.
Good, I don't like popcorn. I don't like the smell of popcorn.
About
Do you like
to
the smell of popcorn?
I'm not sure. I don't think you should have to, but.
Oh, it's a nice little tripod
to go
stand.
behind the curtain again to grab you a little surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good seeing you, and you're looking good in blue.
I like your outfit.
Yeah, I like yours. Everything is TSN now.
Glad we both read the memo.
I got that too. Like, there it is. Here we are.
There we go.
A little bouquet of appreciation.
Just a little something for you,
Yeah.
Johnny. Just to let you know that you are appreciated
Congrats.
by QPTV
That's
and
right.
I
TSINY.
appreciate QPTV. Love working with them. All these great people. Can't beat them. Even if they didn't pay me.
You heard him. You heard him. We're going to hold him to it.
See that the fast food workers are getting $20 an hour now? I feel like showing up saying, hey, you want fries with that?
John Collins, producer and instructor for Queens Public Television. Joining us now is Michael Kelly, Executive Director, Suffolk Hillside Hospital and South Oaks. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell us about your relationship with TSINY and tell us about the work you feel they're doing in the community.
Excellent. So what we do really with TSINY is we have such a great relationship with them. We're caring for anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 patients a year, in our inpatient and then even more on our outpatient. And when these individuals need some place to go, TSI is the place that we use all the time. They do such a remarkable job. We're such a great partnership. And, I just can't be thankful enough to Larry and his team for all of the support that they give us, because many times our patients are staying in the hospital way too long, and when we need a place to send our patients, that's what we're looking, especially from a housing perspective. So the great work that we're doing in the community, we're there because we're caring for patients that are a danger to themselves or somebody else. Many times we're the last stop. We are the safety net for individuals that are really, really not able to function out in the community. So I'm just entirely grateful for our teams to be able to care for kids, adults, young adults. We have a women's unit, and then all the way up to geriatrics. Just tremendous, tremendous work our team does every day.
Wow. Have you been seeing an overflux of actual new patients when it comes to mental health these days in comparison to what you might have seen in the past?
Without a doubt. Listen, mental health has always been a crisis in America. The pandemic boiled it to the top. And now what we've seen is just an increased need for services, both inpatient and outpatient. We've actually seen a sicker patient come to our hospital. And it's really, really sad to see over these past couple of years. So, again, our goal is to really, really make sure that we have individuals cared for in the outpatient environment. Anytime we can keep a patient out of the hospital is a beautiful thing. And that's what we tell our teams every day. The more we could get out into our surrounding communities, the more we want to be able to do that. We have a lot of areas that are not covered by mental health services. When you think about the geography, not only just Queens, but as we start to go out to the island and to the city, there's so many places that are in need. We see it just around surrounding communities. We see homeless. These individuals, they need help too. And we've seen so many more people these past couple of years. The hard part for us is that many times there's a wait list to get into our services. Wow. Because we simply don't have enough out there to be able to care for all these people in our surrounding communities.
And the collaboration with TSINY helps fulfill part of that need, correct?
Oh, without a doubt. We can't do this on our own. Behavioral health is a team sport. Make no mistake about it. Anybody that's trying to go at it on their own can't do it. TSI, if we did not have them as our partner, I don't know what we would be doing. We would actually have to be turning away patients hand over fist in order to be able to, in order to be able to make certain that we're caring for what we have to do. We'd either discharge. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is a problem. I get the mic. I keep going.
We want you to
go ahead, flow. Yeah, my team knows. You get me a mic. I'm just like I'm in my happy place. Like I said, without the services that we have to have a partnership and a team like this, it wouldn't work. We'd have people sitting more homeless without places to stay, without the partnerships, without having jobs for these people to be able to get into. Yeah. Remember, the TSI absolutely employs folks, and you heard it, one of the people today said it. She was a patient of ours. After being a patient of ours, she was hired at a TSI. It's such a great partnership to be able to have people that have a problem, get help, stabilize, and then reintegrate into the community with that partnership.
And what did you think about the greatest show on earth? Your theme today. Did you expect a circus, lion, tigers, and bears?
Well, knowing what I know of Larry, I was expecting that. I have to tell you, he got me with his outfit a little bit. He always continues to impress with his, how he dresses up for these events. But I tell you, it was absolutely perfect, from the gentleman on stilts walking into the place, to the popcorn, to the festivities. They do it right every year. I have to tell you, it's one of my favorite events. I look forward to it every year.
Joining us now is Helen Ortega Mangaberti, CEO of Health and Hospitals, Elmhurst, 2023 Businesswoman of the Year. Not for anything, I read your bio. You are a trailblazer, and congratulations on your award today and for all the work that you do in the community.
Thank you. I'm very humbled by this event, and being honored by my peers is even more important.
But you have to share that story. Tell them why you got into healthcare to begin with.
So my dad was a community activist. Unfortunately, he didn't have access to healthcare. So one of the things that we did, that we tried to make sure that, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my son. He was like, he wants to come in. But my dad, he was a community activist. He believed in helping thy neighbor. And when we're first generation immigrants, so one of the things when we came to the US, we didn't know we needed insurance cards. So he went to Elmhurst Hospital, and they were like, where's your insurance card? And we're like, what is that? And unfortunately, he got really sick. He actually had leukemia. He was diagnosed that November, and he actually died in Elmhurst that February.
Oh, wow.
So at a very sad moment in my life, I became exactly him. I didn't want to be a community activist. I wanted to be a chemist and find the cure for HIV and AIDS at that time. And that's how I started my path in healthcare.
And tell us about some of the facilities that you've opened. I mean, come on, you have bragging rights.
So one of the things that I really wanted to make sure is that no one in my community ever faced this issue. So I built a health center called Plaza de Sol Family Health Center. And it's a federally qualified center where we see everyone regardless of ability to pay. And the great thing about Plaza de Sol is that we saw everyone that walked through our doors, but we met the patients where they were at. First generation individuals coming from all over the world, this is their first time to healthcare, so getting insurance, getting Medicaid, all that, it's a lot of paperwork. So we started doing that work and started working with this organization as well.
Excellent. And your relationship with TSINY, when were you first introduced to them?
So ever since I was working in Corona, Queens, with Plaza Sol or with Elmer's, just working with our behavioral health patients and putting them on the path of a journey of like going back, not to normal society, but going back and living a life. Because having a mental health illness sometimes can feel so like being in a prison. And TSI, they really help you see that your illness doesn't define you. It's just the beginning. It's part of you. And I think the work that we've done with them and with our patients, they really have done miracles. I mean, I've seen patients who couldn't get out their house or get out of their own little world, and now are like working individuals, went to school, have their own apartment, are managing their medication, and that's like a walking miracle to family members and that individual.
And what did your son think of the greatest show on earth today? I see your son.
I know. He's having a ball.
Like he's having a good time.
Yeah,
he's over there by the baskets. By the baskets.
Yeah, he ate too much popcorn, one, and too much soda, two, and then that big tall dude with the steaks. I think they're becoming best friends. So, but what a beautiful event. I couldn't be happy to be part of it.
Very nice.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dr. Howard Linder, Medical Director, Zucker Hillside Hospital, 2023 Physician of the Year Award. Congratulations.
Congrats.
That's a huge honor, especially coming from TSINY.
Thank you very much. I mean, I'm honored to be here. I'd like to thank Larry and Avi and everyone at TSI for the nomination. It's terrific work that they do, and we couldn't do everything at Zucker without their work. At Zucker, we always say that mental health is a team sport, and without the collaboration between the two organizations, I don't think we would be able to survive and treat our patients the way we do. So I'm honored to be here, and I'd just like to thank everyone for supporting me all these years.
So I always like to ask this question. What made you choose your field in psychiatry?
Yeah, so I guess it went back to medical school. It was just something that I gravitated towards, listening to patient stories, trying to be a supportive ear, helping them through the most difficult times. I think we've all struggled with our own challenges, whether personally or family, and it's something that, the work was just so important to me at the time that I figured it was just a calling. And so I'm actually dual boarded, so I did my general psychiatry residency, and then I actually did a fellowship in consultation liaison psychiatry, which basically is the interplay between internal medicine and psychiatry. So seeing patients on the medical surgical units, helping them through whatever's happening, and again, that interplay where medicine and psychiatry meet. So I did that for a number of years, and then came back to Zucker as associate chair, and now as medical director. So, and I couldn't be happier about my career choice even now. So.
Definitely.
Talk about how your field, the importance of your field is, especially after or post the pandemic. Like, have you seen the overflow of mental health patients coming to Zucker?
I mean, before the pandemic, I think that the stigma of mental health was just starting to, open up a bit, like in terms of getting better, where patients were not afraid to talk about mental health. It was a conversation at dinner tables now and other things where many years ago it wasn't. And I think the pandemic, because of isolation and other things, I think the slogan of it's okay not to be okay. And I think that was, something that rang true to many people. So I think we saw a tremendous growth in especially our outpatient services. But inpatient continues to also be growing. And at Zucker, we've created and developed so many programs, knowing that more and more people need help and different kinds of help. So we've created centers for OCD and bipolar and crisis intervention services and IV ketamine, and I mean the list can go on and on and on. But without those various programs, I think people wouldn't be able to get the help that they need. And we're just happy to be there to support people and get people better.
Well, we're grateful for the services that you provide to the community. We really appreciate everything you've done, and again, congratulations for being honored today.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So we're with Danielle White, and she's received services from TSINY and Venture House. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
So tell us, what are you grateful for with the services from TSINY and Venture House? What are you grateful for?
Well, I'm glad they give us opportunities, people otherwise who wouldn't have them. A lot of times there's a stigma with mental illness that, oh, we just want to get a check and stay home. No, you want to be a part of society, and you have a job that you like and that you enjoy. It gives you confidence. It gives you like food for your soul. You know what I mean? And that increases everything in your life. It makes you feel good about yourself.
Not for anything, your presentation was fabulous.
Really great.
You look amazing. I
Really
love
great.
your
Really great.
dress and your shoes. Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's Fashion Nova coach, okay.
Okay, we see you.
Okay.
We see you. We love that confidence.
Yes, very much so. We loved your video. It was really great. It was very heartfelt, very heartwarming. Talk about, again, how TSINY has really improved or just had an impact on your life so far.
Well, the reason why it was an impact on my life is because for about a year I wasn't working at all. And I kind of got discouraged. I told my counselor, Maggie from Venture House, Maggie, I don't know what to do anymore. And that day when I told her that, she said, wait a minute, let's call up Nina L. Let's see what we could do. I called him on the phone, I got the interview.
Awesome. It's a great story. Very nice.
So what would you recommend if somebody said they're suffering and they want help? How would you guide them? Where would you guide them? To TSINY, first, Venture House? How would you do that?
The first thing I recommend is talk to a family member or a friend. You can tell them you're looking for help, but not in a way that is negative, a way that is positive. Just tell your friend, listen, I just need you to listen to me as a friend. Do you have any suggestions? Because I have a cousin who told me, why don't you write in the journal? I would have never thought of that. I didn't even learn that from a doctor. My cousin told me that. And then my mom, she told me, Danielle, watch this movie. I didn't know anything was gonna come from that because she already knew. So that's when I went to my therapist. Then from there, I learned about my illness. Then from there, I was able to go back into the workforce and feel confident about myself. So when I went to TSI, I was a little down. I'm telling you the truth. I was a little down because it was like a work drought. But when I worked there, I learned new skills. I've never worked on a register until I was at TSI.
Very nice.
Okay?
Very nice.
And I didn't even realize that I had such abilities. I did other jobs, but my bosses weren't really that nice. They were rude. So when I had bosses like Ellie and Nina, they were inspiring me. I could come to work and say, listen, Nina, listen, Ellie, I'm not my best today. And they would talk to me, and I would just feel so much better.
Wow.
So they helped me with a little bit of guidance.
So you're talking about Turn the Page Again bookstore.
Yes, Turn the Page Again bookstore. Yes.
On Bell Boulevard.
Yes, in Bayside. Yes. They were very nice. They involve themselves with you. My past, I had better jobs. Not better, but like more paying jobs or something that you would think would be better. But the bosses are rude. You get what I'm saying? So there's a difference. You have bosses that are inspiring. Someone that's gonna stop and listen, even maybe at lunchtime. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's different. That's different.
So you needed a place for you to thrive.
Yes.
And encouragement.
Encouragement, yes. Yes, that's what it is. Encouragement. That's the main thing. Encouragement.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, your story is inspirational, and we hope that we can help, a lot more people to hear a little bit more about your story.
Okay.
And, we look forward to seeing more and hearing more from you in the future.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And not for anything, you can have a career in fashion too.
Oh,
okay. Listen, snap, snap.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Joining us now is Nancy Hernandez, New York State Deputy Controller for Diversity Management. Nancy, so nice to see you again.
I know. I feel every 6 months or so we get together. Catch-up time.
Last time we saw each other was for the spring luncheon.
Yep. We went to Paris.
Paris. We were in Paris. Don't tell our bosses, but we were in Paris.
It was fun. It was really nice.
So Nancy, tell us what you think about the work that TSINY is doing in the community and the greatest show on earth today.
Listen, again, I love the theme, and I think it's just wonderful. This whole event has been great, but one important thing is TSI has done wonders for the community, and you just see it. Just look at the audience, the advocacy, the support. That tells you abundance of what they're doing and how effective it is. The fact that they're helping the community that needs the help, the mental health, the addiction, the homelessness. It's a topic that's going to be around for a long time. And unfortunately, we know other communities are coming into the place, and they too are feeling the same things. We're dealing with the immigrant community. They're coming in droves, affecting also, the community that exists and those that are coming in. But overall, TSI is here for everyone, and it's just meeting teachers, meeting all walks of life in this room, and it touches at home because all of us, one way or another, have suffered this situation, and if not us, a family member or a friend. So the reality, we can relate to this, and to have something, an organization like TSI is just so wonderful, and we need to continue because, they need us.
I agree.
Definitely.
And I can speak on behalf of my controller. He's very supportive of people with disabilities. He's always out there promoting. He's trying to help them as a community, but also for employment purposes. They're the most loyal community. Give them a job. They're going to be there for a long time, and they're going to give you their best. And so, we have to help one another and be realistic of what's happening among our own communities.
That's right. To target poverty, mental illness, you still need education,
absolutely,
and employment, and housing. And TSINY, they offer all of that.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing because again, some people say they don't know where to go. Well, here it is. It's a multi-service type of organization, and like you said, from education, housing, or even just to talk to someone, because often many people feel they're alone, and you're not alone. So
We had an amazing use case earlier when we got a chance to sit down with Danielle, the young lady who, really told us her story, and wasn't it so heartfelt?
But you know what? She was an inspiration, and I love her smile. I'm like, look at her. She's a totally different person. But how many Danielles are out there?
Right.
And it just tells you one person can make a difference in another person's life. And for her to be standing here, look at her right there. She's a testament.
She is.
I
beautiful.
love it.
Yeah.
And her dress, I'm like, look at her. She's glittering.
Yeah.
But the thing is that's her spirit.
Right.
And someone gave her a chance. Someone believed in her. And thank God for her mother.
Oh, yeah.
Who pushed her.
That's right.
And us as mothers, we parents tend to enable our children. We need to stop because they need to develop that independence. And when they're feeling down or that negative talk, they need to, reverse it. They need to see the good in them.
Yeah.
And look at her.
Yeah,
I love it.
She's thriving. We just finished interviewing her, and I told her, you can go into fashion, girl. Look at what you're wearing. And she's like, yeah. She was like, snap, snap.
Oh, it's so good. It's so uplifting. And I know so many others in the audience have the same story because I know many clients keep coming back and they become the guest in the room. So it's just wonderful to be here, and I will continue showing up and supporting and spreading the word.
Well, thank you for your support of the
Definitely.
community.
Absolutely. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. As always. Thank you.
So, not for anything, Larry, what a fabulous event.
Great event.
What did you think overall?
Thank you. I think it was amazing. I think the support was amazing. I think the other agencies that participated, the hospitals, I thought the consumer that told her story really brought everything together. All of that was just, it was incredible, and it was a great show.
And And do you have any upcoming events that you would like our viewers to know about?
Well, we'll have our spring luncheon, which is coming up in May. The theme of that one is, I think, horse racing. So it's going to be a Kentucky Derby theme.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a horse costume. Maybe the backside of a horse. Who knows? You never know.
But you got to bring your wallet.
I'll still got the front portion.
You got to bring your wallet. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Having us. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming as always. I really appreciate it.